Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna read off is actually a short story I made in junior year of high school. It's pretty good. It's rough around the edges, but not so much as to make it unreadable. Um, it's not like my old poetry used to be like that stuff. You could tell, like you could see the emotion in it, but you couldn't, and like it wasn't fine edged at all. Like it was just blunt, like straight to the point. Which I mean, it's still more than what most people put into writing because people suck at conveying emotions. So, um, but I fine tuned my writing ability. So, but anyways, this book is this short story rather is pretty good. So enjoy. It's called Tap Dancing Man on the Stars. This is the tale of an imprisoned being, a being not bound by bars, but by reality. Every night he strolls outside and tries to reach out for a world of his own. He stretches his arms out, desperately trying to hold on to the world of his creation. But every night he remains on earth, trapped as a sad soul in a never-ending life sentence. Still, every night his spirit goes out to those stars and gives them life, a life he never had. Yet every time he tries to stay in the lives he creates, he is forced back onto the earth by the sunrise. As this continues, the being values his imprisoned life less and less, longing for his true world and home. Each time his spirit visited the lives he'd form, he'd frantically try to finding someone he could embrace and hold on to, someone who could keep him there. Alas, time after time, this poor being failed to be held in the lives he so craved to be a part of. Every time he awoke in the morning, more and more of his true life would be destroyed, leaving him to take the only alternative, the alternative of continuing to dream the world he desired more than the most attractive woman. After doing this for far too long, his true life was desolate and dead in his eyes. It began to be a plague rather than a gift, as his nightly addiction showed him what his life could be like if his spirit could be released. Being tormented by the awakenings, he began to try and become the beings in his dream, and started to change the earth into the world he wanted it as a home. His daily excursions to try to make his days be as good as his nights progressed more and more steadily. As he did this, his dreams began to fade continuously. At last, the nightly dreams that had kept him going for so long were gone. The being became a man, and by doing so shed the skin of the past lives upon the worlds. Even now, they await his return, as they stay paralyzed without movement. The being's burden was given to them, as he abandoned them, yet they still wait. They wait for the man to die, so the being can return to them and join them forever in the worlds that he created, the worlds they once shared. And until then, they wait alone in the endless abyss that the being was once in. They wait alone for the being that once so desperately craved to be embracing them, not knowing that he is never going to return. And like I said, I kind of like it. Actually, it's actually resembling what has happened with me. Like, um, I used to be more detached from the world, and I still am. I used to be more uh, unwilling to speak my thoughts, and in my eyes, what I see this as is essentially the being is writing to create new worlds, and he essentially has to make his own happiness, and pretty much it's based around dreams and writing, and eventually he just kind of wants to change things, and that's the point I've reached in my life where, I'd rather work to become something that I've always wanted to be rather than just living in my own world, and I've done that quite thoroughly. So uh, now we can only see if I actually change shit or if it all stays the same, but at least I'll try. Um, the ending kind of implies my belief that essentially when a writer dies, he doesn't really die. He lives on through his writing, and what that is to me, like the being rejoining his creation is essentially his creation being the left behinds of the man. Like, you know, um, it's kind of his tracer or his history essentially. By reading what he wrote, you are able to learn more about him, who he was as a person, and that's why I enjoy writing so much. Whether I die tomorrow or whatever, you know, you can get to know me from everything I've written, as opposed to just just me vanishing, because I have no desire to live another life. I have no belief in an afterlife. But at the same time, it's a cool concept to be remembered, and having people that you weren't even alive in your lifetime get to know you. It's a cool concept because I mean, my favorite writers are fucking dead. So it's like if they wouldn't have had their writing, I essentially probably wouldn't be a writer right now. Like I'd be, um, I might be writing, but I definitely wouldn't have the passion that I do. So writing is more powerful than people give it credit for, and sadly, it's being phased out by TV and movies and shit like that. That's why I'm doing these video things, but I just want to give people some idea that, thinking is a great thing, and being able to express your thoughts and emotions and feelings is just something that everyone should work towards, because when you can express yourself, when you can think, that is when there will be no need for wars and no need for hatred or violence or anything like that, because if you have good intentions, then you know you can express that, and people will know where you're coming from, as opposed to being blind and ignorant and just yelling out claims and shit and all that. So yeah, I've rambled enough. So